Right, well, we're into the end of the first 3-hour block for this contest. A couple of things have happened. The first thing was that the 160 metre dipole choke unwound with about 5 minutes until the beginning of the contest, so I hurriedly went out and rewound that. It's all happy again now, I presume. Also, I ran my main radio, which is the ICOM IC7000, purely off the battery. I switched the generator off to reduce the noise, RF noise that is, and it lasted about half an hour before the battery actually died. So I've been forced to go off my my main radio, which is the ICOM IC7000, and I'm now running the Yaesu FT890 off the generator, and it is using the number 2 G5RV antenna, which is probably the one that's most shielded from the noise from the generator. There's a fair bit of noise coming in on the 160 metres antenna, along with the number 1 G5RV, which is further up the hill. Overall, the contest has been running strong. I've made 50 QSOs. We've still got about 7 or 8 minutes to go. So overall, the contest is running quite well at the moment. 40 metres is the gun band, which is usually the case about this stage of the afternoon. I have flicked around the other bands. There was a little bit of activity, surprisingly, on 20 metres and even a little bit on 10 metres, but I couldn't make contact. 80 metres is just a noise bag at the moment, along with 160. So I'm concentrating on 40 metres right at the moment. Catch up with you all a little bit later on. Okay, so it's now 6 o'clock local time anyway. Contest has been running for 6 hours. We've just finished the second 3-hour block right now. Nothing particularly exciting has happened, except that I've continued to use the Yaesu FT890 as my primary radio. The IC7000 is a backup now. The Europeans are coming in right about now, screwing the bands around a little bit. At this point in time, I've made 83 contacts. Starting to get a little tired, but still in one piece. Catch you next time. Well, we are currently halfway through the contest. It's just gone 12:30 tonight. Things are starting to quieten down. Things were really hectic about 3.5 hours ago when the blocks changed, and I couldn't get back to you at that stage. At the moment, we're a bit over halfway through. It's now 11 hours and 30 minutes to go. So we're 12 hours and 30 minutes gone. At the moment, we've got 174 QSOs. The bands have been reasonably noisy tonight. 80 beaters has been the most important band since about 10 o'clock onwards. 40 has been pretty sad. There's been a bit of Europeans coming in, but the band is not particularly good. 160 has been largely dead, and 20 sort of seems to come and go a little bit, particularly with some of the international stations. Overall, at this stage, probably going okay, but I'd like to have been probably a bit further on. The information that I have is that it's been raining quite heavily in Sydney and certainly up the north coast, and that has probably knocked a lot of the portable stations out without too much difficulty. Propagation does seem to have been problematic, particularly going over to say WA, for example. There's not been a lot coming back from over there. It does seem that a lot of stations that would have operated portable in New South Wales have not gone out due to heavy rains. Fortunately, we haven't seen any real rain here at all. We've had a few spots of rain a little while ago, but overall not too bad, although it is now starting to get quite cool. and I'm in a fairly open shed, so I'm looking forward to taking a couple of hours kip a little bit later on. Being 12:30, it'll be worthwhile to see what happens. There's still a few stations wandering around, and I'll keep putting a few calls out. But probably what will happen is that I will just take a break. I would suggest maybe in about half an hour, an hour's time, take a few hours sleep and probably try to get up about 5 o'clock, something like that, and get stuck into it again for the final run. So far we've had 2 peaks. We had the initial peak for the first 3 hours, which was quite hectic, and then we had another peak for about 4 hours from 7 o'clock till about 11 o'clock-ish, that sort of time. After which things just absolutely died. We had a real rush when the move went from 40 metres to 80 metres as being the primary bands of operation. So we'll see what happens a little bit later on tonight and first thing in the morning. Well, good morning. It's now about 7:15 a.m. on Sunday morning. I went to bed about 1 o'clock local time last night, and I've only just got up about 6:45 this morning. The bands seem like they're in a very appalling condition at the moment. There's no one around in relation to the contest that I can find anyway. It's a bit like, you know, I went to bed last night and everyone left without telling me, and I'm the last one left standing. There are no John Moyle stations that I can find anywhere on 160, 80, 40, 20 or 10 metres in the HF. There is a European contest running on 40 metres, but they can't hear me because their antennas won't be pointed in this direction. And there are a few nets around on 80 metres. So I'm going to persist, but I've been at it for about half an hour and I can't find any stations at all. So I'm not sure exactly what is going on. At the moment, at 7:15, my contacts stand at 178. Okay, it's now 9 o'clock local time. We've just finished the next 3-hour block. Everyone's getting out of bed, and my current QSO is current number of contacts is 198. So we're moving ahead. It's been a little bit slow this morning. The bands have been a bit ordinary. 80 metres is now finished and 40 metres is coming up strong. The Europeans are still finishing off their contest on 40. But 80 is essentially gone. There's nothing on 160. There's very little on 20. There was one station I heard on 20, but didn't pick up a contact off. And of course there's nothing on 10. Well, the contest has ended. It's been an interesting contest. I was certainly hoping to at least get to last year's number of contacts, which was 223, and in fact this year I got to 248. So I'm quite pleased with that. It's been a contest which has been up and down. For quite a while there it didn't look like I was going to achieve the goal. However, the last hour changed the settings. There did seem to be a lack of some people out there, and that may well be that the rain knocked a lot of the portable stations around and meant that a lot of them couldn't get out, along with propagation conditions which seemed like they might have been fairly poor for a lot of the bands. There was quite a lot of noise around, and I do think that That probably contributed to some of the lack of participation this year, but overall very happy with the 2017 John Moyle Memorial Field Day. This is Ken, VK2 Bravo Bravo Quebec, signing off from thriving downtown Binder, where he's been running portable for the last 24 hours. 73.